what time it is. Marvin Devine, Huber, Axel, and you know how we do. Yeah, I got the juice. Big game cool, make them look like cool. Always play it cool, that's the biggest rule. Fuck it, what they doing, keep on doing that. Let's I've been making loot since like 22. Ask me how I made it right here in the booth. I'm always pursued cause of what I pursue. That's greatness, yeah, I gotta make it, I got things to lose. Boy, wanna get in my crew, but you can't get in my crew. Me, XL and Huber, way too fireable. When this joint drop, better call the troops. And when you hear the drop, better raise the roof. Better raise the roof. You already know what happens when we link up. Let's go. Yeah.
Good evening. Welcome to a live broadcast of Mental Health and Me. I am your host, Steve Belcher.
And I am Sade Cutler.
Oh, no, Sade, it's been a minute. Damn.
I know. It feels like we're just getting into the new year or something like that. Hey, Steve.
Yeah, absolutely. How you been?
Fine. No complaints. How about you?
I've been doing pretty good. Just trying to take it one day at a time. How's business going?
It's going really, really good, actually. It's picked up big. I'm going to probably have to bring on and train some other therapists to do therapy on my style.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I was telling, I'm in a group called the Misfits, but now I was telling them about you and, social work and how dynamic you are, compassionate and empathetic, when it comes to mental health counseling, because, as we deal in the world today, fast living, internet, people on the internet and COVID and just everything going on, that a lot of mental health issues are, being undiagnosed.
Yes, absolutely. It's a big push. COVID has exposed a lot of things that were going on behind the scenes, and it allowed it to be put on like the platform for people to kind of see and kind of deal with it more than what they would before.
Right, absolutely. And a lot of this ties into this topic tonight, internet trolling and mental health. And in fact, before we get on the topic, if I may share, when I look at what internet trolling is, by definition, I even participated in it and unknowingly participated in it, and also been, I say, a victim of internet trolling. And as I mentioned before, the social media is a huge part of our lives. It's every day. I mean, everybody uses it, from businesses, advertisement, people building brands.
Mhm.
Then we got a world population of 7.3 billion people, and the people that uses the internet is about 3.17 billion users.
Mhm.
So we can see there that you're going to have a lot of different people and different ideas, beliefs, doing what they do.
Yep.
Bullying. So, Sade, as I would start off, what is trolling? And the definition from a gentleman named James Hansen from the University of Nebraska, Lincoln, says trolling is defined as creating discord on the internet by starting quarrels or upsetting people by posting inflammatory or off-topic messages in an online community. Basically, a social media troll is someone who purposely says something controversial in order to get a rise out of other users. Okay? Now, with that being said, did you see a lot of that during the campaigning with Trump and the presidential race and all that? Because I saw a lot of trolling and that people attacking people based on what they believed in the candidate, start attacking their family.
That is definitely something that was going on at that time. I think people were going out of their way to kind of look for people to make comments for or against Trump, for or against Black Lives Matter. So you had a lot of people that were passionate and definitely like extreme on one end, or they were just definitely trying to I guess like you can't even say they were really trying to voice their opinion when it comes to trolling, because sometimes you feel something so deep inside of you that it can overpower you and you start to react and do things that just are impulsive. So when you go out of your way to kind of look for other people that have a different opinion than you, then that is when it gets a little bit toxic.
Right. Now, Sade, in your opinion, you're a counselor, mental health. Why do people troll? Some of the things it's been said why people troll is revenge, attention seeking, or just boredom, or even, I mean, why do you think, in your medical advice or your professional advice?
It can be all of those things, but sometimes it also comes back down to just being unhappy. A lot of people are unhappy and they make time to basically try to make themselves feel good. Some people get a kick out of making people miserable, like how people say misery loves company. So if you have someone that's miserable and they don't have anything else to do, they will go out of their way to lurk, to stalk, or to just look for someone to prey on.
In fact, while we talking, I have an internet troller right here and in live plain in view who said that's what Steve Belcher is a part of. So this is what I'm telling you about. I had to block the user, but we're seeing this in real time. So again, this is real. This happens. So Sade, can you say that internet trolling is the 21st century in some ways of bullying?
Well,
to some degree?
I would definitely say that it's a part of that online bullying that a lot of people were talking to when when the online platform started. Most of the time, people were seeing it with teenagers and children in school when they started getting on the platforms. So they referred to it as online bullying, and then it transitioned to this thing called trolling because sometimes people do it nonstop. When you really think about trolling, trolling is really when people used to go like fishing and having like the bait lines to kind of like bait and catch fish. So when people troll, it's usually because they're trying to get a reaction or a response from you.
Yeah, like this guy's trying to get a response out of me right now.
So
Oh,
what was the oh, he said something.
I deleted all his comments and blocked them. It's something that had to do with the situation that I talked about in the beginning that I was a part of with a gentleman. I'm not going to call his name, but I had pointers how you move past that, you know. So let me ask you, Sade, how do most people respond when confronted with a message or comment which attempts to denigrate their intelligence, self-esteem, or worth as a human being? How should they respond to that?
It's the fight, flight, or freeze. Some people are just so shocked when they see someone in their comments on their post or on their page that they don't know what to do or what to say. So they're kind of like, what in the world? What warranted this? Why would somebody do this to me? Why would somebody feel this way about me? And then it's that fight. People just get to typing, their words get to going, oh, F-U-B, da 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 da, and they ready to go in war mode and fight back with the words. And then it's that flight. Some people don't know what to do. They don't even know how to feel. So, or they're not confrontational. So they just run from it or they try to avoid it. Or like you just did. Some people just block it. Like, I don't have the time for any foolishness. So let me just get it out of my space.
Yeah, absolutely. And
hey, Christy.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I have actively participated even up to yesterday. I mean, to the point where I belong in the group, and because I seen a video that this gentleman was talking about me for about half an hour, right? And I didn't see it, but somebody was showing it while they was on live. And when I saw that, I came out double barrel shotgun with, all kind of comparisons from my education to this gentleman's education to the way I dress to the way he dressed. And, I know that for me, doing what I do as a professional, that wasn't appropriate. But on the same token, I'm human. And I felt enraged, upset, this journal. Sorry.
So let's dissect that part just a little bit. So when you say you felt enraged, were you enraged after you watched the whole video, or were you just more so offended about the things that were said in the video?
Both, but I had squashed it. I did a public apology on one of my shows last week and told them that was that. And I had left it alone. And then next thing I know, here it goes again. And I'm coming with all kind of stuff, showing them, pictures of my work IDs that I had took a long time ago, like 20 different, that, I don't have to prove that I'm a nurse or my credentials, but, when he goes and says what he says, and I know that people know that that's ridiculous, but something in me is like, have to defend myself because this gentleman has a far reach audience. So people who never seen me before, in my mind, people who just started watching him and don't know me, and he's still bad mouthing me. And then, they like want to see who this person is. Then they're going to kind of get a false belief that I might be like that or believe him. But on the flip side of that, I want him to keep talking because it sparks interest and gives me more. It's like free publicity. I mean, to a sense. So,
Okay.
I'm just saying. But other than that, I mean, I just wanted to bring that that example up because that's not the topic here. But I just wanted the people to know that anybody can deal with this. It doesn't matter who you are if you're on the internet trying to do positive things. But Sade, are there physical effects that deal with this as well? Can somebody get physically sick dealing with being bullied or internet trolling or a victim of internet trolling?
Of course. So the thing about trolling, sometimes it causes us to react out of character, just like how you were describing what it is that you felt. At that moment, you felt enraged. So if you feel enraged over something that someone's saying or something that someone's doing, that's a response. Just like some people will go out their way to say things and then you start to feel depressed because sometimes you start to believe what they're saying is true. Sometimes you believe or you start to feel less than based off the things that they are saying. And sometimes people control on a whole different level. I think it was a story about a woman who father had passed away of cancer, and someone was trolling her, made like a page or something that was her father even after he was deceased, and was like coming back telling her how pathetic she was as a daughter, how he didn't like her and things like that, and just kept trolling and trolling. Those things can play on people's psyche. So it's important when you on certain platforms to really try to develop that thick skin, because people are going to come. I've been trolled. People say stuff to me all the time, but I just let it fall off. I let it roll over, and I don't I try not to harbor on those things. And people can say things that hurt your feelings. People can say things that affect our ego, especially when it's men going back and forth and things like that. But being able to not let people control you is a big, huge part that comes in when it comes to trolling. If a person can control your emotions, they can control you.
Mm-hmm.
So just trying to be, just trying to not fall into it, especially when you're able to realize what that person is doing. When you see it, you kind of got to prepare yourself. Okay, I need to deal with this. Not even having to go back and forth with them, but get them out your space. But like you said, you have a public platform. So some people do look at that like, oh, this might be good publicity for me, or good publicity for this show, or for this thing, or this avenue that I'm doing. Just like celebrities when they pull publicity stunts and things like that. So you just have to really decide what's worth it and what's not worth it to you. If it's going to cause you to get anxious, cause you to become depressed, make your blood pressure go up. We already know we talk about kidney disease and things like that. Then it's not worth it.
Right? Are you looking at my list? Because oh my God! Because I was going to say the physical effects. I mean, sweating, fast heartbeat, or tachycardia. It heightens anxious and depression, and it also lowers self-esteem.
Yes, it can just humans are humans. We all go through different things. Some days you got days that you feel good, and some days you just got days that you don't feel good. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just normal. It's common. But if you have a day that you don't feel so good, and then you have someone trolling and they're beating on your self-esteem, calling you all these different names, speaking negative things into you that you already kind of feel subconsciously about yourself, then it can affect you, because you kind of fall into it. So that's why sometimes it's important not even to entertain it at all. Like as soon as you see certain name come up, you might not even want to go over there and look at that stuff, and just be like, okay, I don't have time for this energy today, because you already know what they're bringing. You already know what they're about. You already know the fruit that they bear. Nothing good comes from them. Nothing good. It's nothing good that they bring to the table.
Mm-hmm. So, with that being said, is it safe to say that dealing and acknowledging feelings that you get from trollers is an important step in um, approaching internet trolls?
Absolutely, because you have to know how it is affecting you. If you are not clear about the feelings that you have about people trolling and things like that, you don't know what your reaction is going to be. So if you look at something or you see that certain people are saying certain things about you, it's okay for you to admit to yourself that you feel upset or that things are hurting your feelings. Once you decide, okay, I can't take this, I don't like these things that this person is saying, you deal with that emotion. You don't have to broadcast it to the world, because if you do that, then people sometimes will prey on your weaknesses and try to bring that to the forefront. You deal with it behind closed doors. Sometimes you can't tell everybody about everything that you're feeling because they don't care either way. Especially if you have a troll that wants to bring you down. They're waiting for you to mess up. They're waiting for
Mm-hmm.
you to talk about or express certain feelings. So if you don't have that thick skin that you have that you need at that time, then it wouldn't be wise for you to go broadcast about you feeling down or you feeling sad on certain platforms or to certain people, because they are going to try to use it against you.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it just takes a little bit time to build yourself up to where you need to be when you're dealing with bullies. It's just bullies.
Mm-hmm. 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 Do you, Sade, do you think people who troll know the havoc that they're wreaking on people and causing someone to have low self-esteem and go through depression and anxiety? Do you think a lot of these people who do troll do it on purpose, and some
Yeah,
may be doing it and not knowing that they're uh, unintentionally doing it?
I do believe that they know that what they're doing, because do you understand that it's a certain amount of steps that you go through when you're trolling. So you have to get up, look for the person. You have to type their name in, you have to go to their friends list, you have to do all types of things to get to them. And then once you get to them, you make nasty comments, you say certain things to them, you do things to try to piss them off. You know exactly what you're doing. This is not a thing where, oh, I'm confused, I don't get it. You know what you're doing. I went to your page. I wrote something that was inappropriate that I knew that was going to piss you off. It takes
Mm-hmm.
steps to get there. You had every opportunity to not do it and you did it anyway.
Mm-hmm. Sade, why do you think um, so many people during this last inauguration, what happened up at the Capitol, why do you think so many people say if someone likes Trump and they made post something like a picture and say, I love Trump and this and that, and then somebody comes behind and makes a negative comment, and then the next thing you know, the whole feed is back and forth for people spewing their beliefs and views. Um, why do you think someone's, just in your opinion, if someone likes Trump and someone likes Biden, how can that create discord where it breaks up a friendship of, say, 5, 10, 15 years?
When you get into this previous presidential election, a lot of emotions are involved because you have people that feel like the election was stolen. So when people feel like they've been robbed of something or they believe in something, they're naturally going to react like that. They're going to think that you don't know all the facts or you don't know what you're talking about. So it's almost like they're trying to convince you to believe or think the way that they're thinking. So you have these set of people that like Trump, and then you have these set of people that like Biden. There are both things on both sides that people don't like. So sometimes people go sway or go towards one side more than the other because of certain things. Some people say, oh, well, Biden is this, and he's done this to people and his kids this. And then you have people that talk about Trump. Well, he's racist, he's this, and he's that. And then some people, they don't like Trump for the things that he's doing because that's where their moral values lie. And then there are certain people that don't like Biden because their moral values are against certain things with them. So when you are going, or when you're talking to people and you're going against values, emotions, and things like that, that's the type of things that happen. Those are the type of things that happen. People want to be heard. They want you to agree with them. They want you to kind of help them or sway you to get their way. So what happened with this election was crazy, but a lot of people had some strong views and strong opinions about it either way. Some people could know the truth and they didn't care. And some people didn't care about the truth. They just wanted what they wanted. They just liked the candidate. They thought that he was better than that person, and that's what they wanted in office. And some people like, well, why, how could you think like that when this person done all these things and these person did these things on this side? So why? So that's when people don't understand how important it is to agree to disagree.
Mm-hmm. And that's very important to agree to disagree. I think if a lot of more people did that, it would be a better, more society.
Yeah, it would have, even with there are some things about the election that just weren't right on either side. But some people don't even want to have a conversation about those type of things. Some people just don't want to hear it. They don't care about it. They just want to argue. And a lot of times when people are going back and forth, they're not even arguing to learn or understand. They're arguing just to respond. They just arguing just to respond. Sometimes if you really take yourself out of an argument and just listen, you'll kind of see that, okay, this person doesn't really care about the facts of this or the facts of that. They're basically saying, even if it is true, it's not going to change the fact that I voted for this person. I like this person. This is where I'm going. This is who I'm rocking with. So whatever you say, it doesn't even matter.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got that, then there is no reason for you to keep going down the list of different facts because the person has made their opinion and they're firm on it. And that's okay.
Right. So let me ask you this, Sade, because you're from Baltimore, we're from the DMV area, and let's just a small sidetrack, not to even delve in just a small part of this. So could we apply what you just said to the Vince Crab House protest? Because you had people who said that or think that the Mayas are racist, and then you have another side who think they're not. So could we say the same thing as that, like we do with the election, where now the protest is over and there's a group that's formed that people that were in part of another group have collaborated or just found love and positivity. It made a good situation out of a bad situation. So could we just apply the same thing to that situation, or is it different?
So with that, I believe that people felt whatever they felt. Are you talking about when they were out there protesting and things like that about the comments that were made?
Right.
I don't have a problem with people doing whatever they want to do. If people want to continue, if people wanted to support Vince's Crab House, totally fine. And for the people that didn't want to support it, that's totally fine. Everybody had their reasons. There were some people that felt like clearly, I think the protesters were saying, of course, that they were racist or they didn't agree with the comments that were made, right? And that was their reason that they didn't support them or they didn't want people to go in it. And that's what a protest is. And then there were some people that said that it didn't matter or they didn't care about the comments that were made. So to each its own. That's their choice.
Wow. That's really the bottom line. And I guess if people kept it that way, it may would have turned out different, huh?
Like turned out different, like without the protest or like with all of the back and forth that was
right. With all the back and forth and everything with it.
You know, I don't even know. I'll just say this. I don't have an opinion about it either way. All I know what is how I feel about a certain situation, and this doesn't speak for anybody else. People can make mistakes, but how you handle a mistake after you make it is what's important to me. So I definitely believe in accountability. I think that that's very important. There are some things that people do that I don't necessarily like, and there will be some things that I do that people don't necessarily like. But I believe that it's very important that you take accountability for things that you've done.
Awesome. Okay, so that's good to know. So now let's move on to the most important thing. How do one protect their mental health when dealing with trolls?
You have to.
Oh, before you answer that, let me just put something on the screen. Wait a minute. This right here, I got a chart, right? Don't feed the trolls. And, it has like a flow chart. It has monitor, assess, engage, resolve, deflect, and dilute. But before I bring that back on, I wanted to just post that up. But one, I'm just going to put out one they had, don't feed the troll. What do they mean by that? I mean, we're not talking about a troll under the bridge, but but in your opinion, what does that mean, don't feed the troll?
Don't take the bait. It's like, don't give them a stick to beat you with. If you ignore certain things, sometimes it'll just go away. Or if you don't give it that energy. See, trolls feed off of the energy that you give it. So if they know that they can ruffle your feathers and that's what they're trying to do, then that's going to urge them or push them to continue doing what they are doing. If I seek to get you riled up and you get riled up, then I am succeeding at trolling. I am succeeding at what it is that I'm seeking out to do. So I'm going to continue to try to do that. And then once you catch on and you don't get riled up from it, I'm going to try a different method or a different tactic to get you riled up or get you upset in another matter. And if you take that bait, then I know that I've got you then. But if you do something to someone and you ignore them or push them to the side and pay them no mind, who are they trolling? They only trolling themselves. They're wasting time out of their day. Nobody's paying them any mind either way. Who cares?
Right. Absolutely. But the moment you say something to them and feed into it, then you just started the whole cycle back over again.
It's like a high for them. They happy. They good. All right, finally. Oh, he make sure he saw it. Make sure he got to it. Oh, now he's saying something. Now I got the attention. Then when you go back and forth, it's like sometimes it just does something for it. That makes them feel good. And that's why sometimes when you see people trolling and you engage with them, they go back and tell other people about what happened because they got what they wanted. So now it's like they got the prize. They got what they needed. So now they're going to take the bone back.
Let me ask you this. When you have like First Amendment rights, because I see some comments where somebody, Sharice, thanks for commenting from India, says, yes, people have freedom to speak and raise their voice. But with that being said, when do you cross the line of trolling when at the same time we're talking about First Amendment rights and freedom of speech?
So speaking up and stating what you believe is true, your reality, how you feel, it's nothing wrong with that. Trolling is when you are basically stalking. You are seeking out to piss someone off or to just do something intentional to someone. If you are just speaking out, then you don't care how a person feels either way. You are not intentionally going out to offend Steve. You're not intentionally going out to offend Sade. You're not trying to do that. You're just trying to state or speak up against or for whatever it is that you feel like you need to say. That's freedom of speech. But when you're going to speak something that you know is going to hurt the person's feelings and you want a response from it, then that's when it crosses over to not just speaking up because you want a reaction or a response to it in a negative way. When you're speaking up and you just saying something and you want to just have dialogue, that's totally fine too, to be able to have respectful dialogue back and forth. But when you are constantly looking for someone to just get them upset, that's a whole different ball game.
Oh, okay, Tosh, thanks. Yeah. So another thing we can do to protect the mental health when dealing with trolls is accept how you feel. Can you elaborate on that?
Are you talking about people that's being trolled to accept how you feel?
Right. How to protect their mental health when dealing with a troll.
So,
and one of the things, so one was don't feed the troll, and another one they say is accept how you feel when you're dealing with trolls and protecting your mental health.
So accepting how you feel is basically understanding what it is or what feelings or emotion that have been brought about. That's what that is. So you identify the feeling that you have in you, and then you deal with it. So if someone says something and you are offended, try to see what is it that offended you. Are you just offended that they had the nerve to come on your platform or your page? Sometimes people just offend, like, how this person just gonna come on my page thinking they can just do that. So are you offended by what they actually said? Are you offended by the fact that they've done this one too many times? You have to be able to identify what has hurt you. Are you do you feel sad because they struck a nerve and it's something that they said that could have potentially been true? Is it something that you've been dealing with that you don't want anyone to know about, that they said that they put some things out about you that you've been battling with or that you've been dealing with behind closed door? So you really got to understand or look and identify what it is that you're upset about. If you're just pissed off or upset about the fact that it's bullying, then that's a simple fix that you can just try to block them or try to keep them from off your platform. But if they said something that has hurt your feelings and things like that, sometimes you have to dig a little deeper to see what is it about what they said that hurt me like this.
So you could be dealing something deep inside and not even realizing they say something when you react that way.
For example, say you online and you feel like you're fat, right? You feel fat, you don't feel sexy and stuff like that. And then somebody come on and they say, oh, look at you looking like a fat pig or whatever like that, like you ate this or ate that. If you already been battling your self-esteem because you feel fat and then someone comes on there and call you fat, then that's something that they've struck internally, like an internal nerve. So now, not only are you just offended that they came on your page and said something, now you upset that they said something that you battling with. So it's a little bit deeper then. So you got to look inside yourself to see, why did this hurt me the way that it did? And then you got to deal with it from there.
Tosh made a good point.
Yeah.
She says mental health has already been compromised due to the pandemic, and trolls are making it much worse. Can you elaborate on that?
She is absolutely right. You have people that already have like social anxiety. They dealing with self-esteem issues, depression, and things like that. Then you get on social media and you see these people up here waiting to try to devour you or to just speak nastiness to you. That's anxiety provoking in itself. It's unfair, but it's not. The truth of it is, they're always going to be there. Trolls are always going to be there. And the crazy part about it is, trolls go to therapy too.
Right. Are you for real?
I am so serious. You got bullies that have mental health issues too. And sometimes they are trying to deal with their own stuff. And hurt people. So these hurt people are hurting other people.
Wow. And I mean, it's just so crazy because I was born in the 60s, so I guess I'm a baby boomer. But to see how when computers first started and social media, and they had groups back in the late 80s, you know, I had a Commodore computer, but just from that to where it's at now is just so like crazy.
Yeah.
And if you're already, like you said, if you're already dealing with a mental health issue and you're not really seeing anyone about it, the internet could exacerbate those symptoms or those underlying problems.
Yeah, it can even cause people to want to follow through with suicidal ideate ideation, suicidal attempts, and things like that. Because sometimes people start to read into those things and they believe that it's true. It could be far from true, but it just gets inside of you sometimes. And after you look at certain things, you keep reading the same thing. Sometimes even the strongest people will start to believe certain things at times. So that's why it's so important to not become obsessed with the trolls either. If the troll is trolling, you don't want to become obsessed with what they're going to say, what their next move is going to be either, because that can literally drive you crazy.
Mm-hmm. We got some very positive comments. Let me just uh, go over to the side for a minute, Sade, because this right here, I'm very happy to see this. Tosh said, heal people, 2021, let's do it. And Sade, she's absolutely right. And that is the exact reason why I wanted to do this show. When we first talked about this show, it was geared toward the kidney disease community, but then we wanted to kind of expand it. And yes, it's 2021, and Sade and myself is here to come with great topics. However, we need guys to share the show and come on and watch so we can get this information across the communities across the United States so other people can see what's going on. That's been a challenge right there. Isn't that right, Sade?
Yes, yes. Just spread the word, spread the news, let people know that we're here.
Yeah, also you got Tata, and these are all some of the people who follow the gentleman that had great content until he went sideways. But Tata said, I need her contact, which we always do at the end of the show. I may need her services. I like her. Are you contracted with my health insurance? Sis, LOL. Danny,
I do take health insurance. So once you contact me, we can go over it. But I do accept health insurance.
And then Danity Paris, she says, after my husband passed, I had to seek therapy. I still go to therapy until this day to deal with. I mean, there's nothing wrong. So we have people right here talking about nothing wrong with mental health. But Sade, why do we have a lack of people in the Black community reaching out to seek mental health? Why is it a stigma for people to reach out to someone like yourself to talk about something that's going on in their life to resolve it?
So back in the day, people used to be like, "Oh, I'm not crazy. I'm not talking to no strength. It's nothing wrong with me." So a lot of people believe when you have to seek any type of help for mental illness that you are crazy, and that's not true. It's far from true. I try to tell people come see me when they're even making life transitions about work. It's just so you can have a different perspective or you can get tools to help you through life. Sometimes people think that they are totally fine when they're not. It's just mental health can just be like a cold, like depression. You know, when you are sick and you have like a common cold, your body might be able to fight it off and you just be like, all right, I'm sick, I don't feel good or whatever like that. And your immune system can knock it out. Just like with depression can come a few days, you feel down and you can pucker up, get yourself together, and you good in those few days. It's not nothing too serious. But then sometimes you get a cold and you like, oh, I need a little bit more. I can't just fight this one off. I gotta go get some over-the-counter meds, or I gotta go to the doctors to get some antibiotics to see what's going on, which means that you might need the expert to kind of see what's going on because you didn't just fight this cold off like you normally would. Whereas though depression is just like the same thing. So if you feel like you're not feeling better after you start feeling sad, or you start to lose your appetite, or you just can't quite figure out what's going on, then you need to seek the expert to see what's going on with you, with your mental health. Because sometimes that depression is just not going to go away on its own, just like a cold might not go away on its own. You need to come seek the therapy to help you move past it. It's the same dynamic, but people place so many different things on it when they're affected differently. When you're physically affected by a cold, it's something that you can kind of touch, you can feel, you can tell. Whereas though mental health, if you're so accustomed to telling yourself, oh, I can shake this off, I'll feel better, I just gotta get over it, I just need to let it go. When you can't, it just festers. It festers, it festers. And
Right.
you get deeper and deeper pulled into it
Mm.
instead of taking the steps to talk to someone to get out of it. I have talked to plenty of people in therapy, and it was like I was so hesitant to talk to someone, and I'm glad I reached out to you. You never know what can come out when we talk.
Absolutely. I mean, even just hearing you, I just feel the comfort of your voice. I mean, I've seeked therapy before and talked with a social worker. She reminds me of you, very attentive, listen, ask questions, pose different solutions. And it was at a time when I was going through workman's comp
Oh yeah.
and being fired from the Vita and getting the workman's comp and getting that payment. And my dad was in the hospital. My nephew, was Christmas time, grandkids, no money for nothing.
Mm,
And I mean, I was on the brink of like, and I'm not ashamed to even say this because I pushed through it. But at that time, when I was going through that dark period after my accident and the whole thing with initial workman's comp, if I didn't have like my daughter, my grandkids, or like that family structure, I think I would have blew my brains out, to be
mm,
honest with you.
mm,
Um, because they put me through a lot of mental um, uh, uncertainty. You know, I had bills to pay, mortgage, car note. I mean,
mm,
I went from $100,000 to zero.
mm-hmm,
And but thank God for people like yourselves who
mm-hmm.
are counselors that I was able, while I was still with the Vita going through this, I was able to use that EPA line. And that's
Oh yes.
very important.
Yes,
That's
that's
very
it.
important.
Yes, yes.
And I had so many, like the way I didn't like it because it's set up on what issue you're dealing with. And then you do that issue and they give you so many times to see that person and then it stops.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point that you bring up about the EAP services and things like that.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, EAP, I said
employee assistance
EPA.
program. Yeah, employee assistance program. People need to understand what options are out there because that is something that's big right now during COVID. A lot of people are going through a lot of different challenges, stress, depression, and stuff that's job related, and they're walking away or they're quitting because they're depressed, they're anxious about COVID and things like that. Where you can just see a mental health provider. All mental health providers don't really like to deal with certain things with paperwork and stuff like that. I don't have a problem doing that. That is one of my specialties is dealing with work related trauma, environmental stuff like that. And sometimes you just need some time off to get your mental together. And that can be a way for you to preserve your job. Like sometimes people end up quitting because they didn't take those 3 weeks off or they didn't utilize that FMLA that they didn't know they were entitled to. So you have to educate people about their entitlements so they can utilize them and get the services and things that they need.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said, what is the EP line? It's an EAP line, Saya, employee assistance programs that a lot of jobs have for their employees to call if you're going through any life changes or any substance abuse or anything that I guess pretty much affects your work productivity because everything they do affects that work productivity and that's what they protecting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so good point. Sade, when we get back to how one protected mental health when dealing with trolls, the third one was many trolls try to get a reaction because they are unhappy and it's really about them and not you. Do you think that?
That goes back to what I was saying in the beginning. A lot of them aren't unhappy. Think about it like this. If you have someone that is taking time out of their day to literally watch your every move, how happy can they be in their life? It takes a lot of time for you to wait or look or lurk or search for people just to sit up there and antagonize them or bully them or just make comments or just think of certain things that you're going to say. Sometimes people just think about the things that they're going to do to you the next day. That takes a lot of time and energy to do.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't see happy people going around trying to think about how they're gonna hurt other people. Why?
Right, right, right. Absolutely.
It's totally pointless.
Yeah, yeah. So it is really about them. And I guess if some people believe, or not believe, but if they keep some of these pointers in mind when dealing with people on the internet like that, like I just had another troll, somebody asked me online, did I still smoke weed? I'm like, who does that? Somebody named Keisha Copeland, so I blocked them. And that's none of their business if I did or didn't. But again, I just had to block it and move it on. But I wanted to say that just to let people know that, you know, I'm not a stranger against these type of attacks. People trying to stain your brand or tarnish it or whatever they want to do to try to get a rise out of you. So, but one thing people could do, Sade, is change their privacy setting if they're online. Like on Facebook, if they want to post, they could just post to friends or themselves, so they don't even have to deal with trolls.
Yeah, you can do that. But you also definitely have to be mindful because you have those people that spend a lot of time doing things and they'll just create fake pages to try to filter through or come through that way or come through with friends that they know that you have and try to duplicate or replicate those pages to get in like that just to go bother you again. So of course, the privacy setting is definitely a way to try to filter through and cut down on it, but you also just still be mindful that they can come in different platforms or different ways too.
Okay, okay. So we kind of coming down, but Sade, I mean, in 2020 hindsight, the internet should be a good place, shouldn't it? I mean, social media should be an excellent way to engage with the world around you and a great way for brands and companies to engage with users and to also for people to reconnect with loved ones or friends that they haven't seen, relatives they haven't seen in years. I mean, that's what it should be about, right?
In a perfect world, if I work like that, I think it would be definitely fine. But you know, just like anything, you're always going to have that negative side of it. If it was designed to do that and it worked the way it was for what it was designed for, that would be perfect in the perfect world. You wouldn't have to worry about trolls. You wouldn't have to worry about bullies. You wouldn't have to worry about a lot of things. But unfortunately, people going to find a way to do the things that they want to do.
Right, right. Now, do you think trolls can be a bad thing or they can be a good thing? You can think it can go both ways.
I don't necessarily believe in people trolling, watching, and things like that to be a good thing at all. I don't see anything positive in it.
Do you think people who are victim of trolls can use that to their benefit?
I think that you could learn how to cope and use it for your benefit. Absolutely.
Tata said, internet feeds the good, the bad, and the ugly. Got to have your mindset ready. And basically, that's what I was going to say, Tata, is that you have to know how to deal with trolls, and staying on the offensive is important along with knowing how to respond to a troll's comments and criticism. What do you think about that, Sade? What I just read
about responding and knowing how to.
staying on the fence is important, along with knowing how to respond to a troll's comments and criticism.
If you must respond, or if you plan on responding, then you just say what it is that you feel like you need to say. What you don't want is for somebody to take you out of character, because sometimes when you have a platform and people are watching you, they're waiting for you to get out of character so they can go back. Oh, look what he said, or look what she said, or look what they did. So you just have to be mindful in responding. So it's very important, if you are going to respond, that you be mindful how you respond.
Wow. This has been a great show, Sade. But before we end, just what do you want people to know about trolling and what they can do to stay safe? What should they carry? What should they take away from this show tonight pertaining to trolling?
As far as trolling is concerned, that's something that's going to always be there. So when you have a situation where you kind of know, fully warned is fully armed. So if you know that these things out here can happen, then you just have to try to do those things that you can to protect yourself. There is no way that you're going to be able to stop it. So then you just prepare for it. You know what offends you. Be able to identify things that hurt you and deal with those things. And every chance you get, if you find a troll, you identify that troll, get rid of that troll, delete that troll, block that troll.
Yeah, that's what I gotta do. So Sade, I mean, a lot of people love what you're saying and want to connect with you. Just tell the people who's watching, or who this may be the first time they've seen you, a little bit about what you do and the name of your organization.
Okay, so my organization is called My Empowering Impact, which is on the screen. We provide therapy services. I provide supportive services for people that are suffering from depression, anxiety, chronic illness, job-related trauma, grief, loss, kidney disease, you name it. We pretty much cover it. We do accept health insurance. I know someone inquired about that. You can call us at 443-379-4545.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me put that up on the banner right quick. 443.
Yes, 379-4545. Or you can visit us online at www.myeempoweringimpact.org. And if you go online, it's a self-referral form. You can just complete it, give your information, let us know what's going on, and we'll give you a call back to schedule.
Wow. That's awesome. We need more counselors and social workers like you in the community, Sade. I'm glad you came on the show. A lot of people really enjoyed the live conversation. And that's what we're trying to do with Mental Health and Me, is talk about the mental health challenges and solutions that occur in the urban community and beyond.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for watching. We're going to be back. I got to set the schedule, but we'll definitely be back in about a week or two with another great topic and another great show. All we just need you guys to do is tune in and share. And let me just say this. Sean Garris, thank you for watching and your support. Tata, thank you. Candy and Jen. But I just wanted to reach out to the new people who are really humbled and appreciate, like Tosh, not Tata, but Tosh, Christine Moore, Danity Paris. And I mean, it's many more. And if I didn't get your name, I'm sorry, Sandra Cook Lady. I really appreciate y'all coming over and watching the show. That's all we ever wanted to do, was reach a broader population to share this information. I mean, we're both clinical practitioners, and all this information that we share is evidence-based information. So this is one of the
Thank you.
this is one of the people who is trolling me. So I wanted to show you that, but I'm about to block this person. Let me block him, then I delete the comment. But yeah, that Rose Wallace was a troller, one of the person's minions. But anyway, Sade, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this show. And let's reach more people with mental health than me and talk about solutions and not problems.
Yes. Sounds like a plan to me, Steve.
All right, Sade. Anything you want to say before you leave out?
No, I just want people to continue to be encouraged as we get into this era of online, since everything's transitioning to virtual, like almost seems like it's like 100%. But just be encouraged and continue to guard your space, guard your energy, and push forward. All right.
All right, Sade. Take care and have a good night.
Good night.
All right, I'll close it up. So, guys, thank you for watching. And Tata, the people from whose page that's over here support me, thank you so much. She is Tata. But look, if Tata or Tata, if you ever on watching, if you see that fool, you know who we talking about. I'm not going to call any names. If you see him, could you moderate and block that guy or do whatever you can? Danity Perez, thank you. Joe Patterson, thanks for watching, brother. But yeah, we're just trying to bring positive information. That's all, guys. No hidden secrets, no hidden messages. Just trying to conduct a positive dialogue about problems that are happening in the community at large. So again, thank you guys for watching. We're just trying to do something different. Again, thank you for coming on the Urban Health Outreach Media, where this media site is pertaining to health education. So thank you for coming over here. Tune in Saturday for the virtual talk. I'm going to have Lady J Jenkins on. That's going to be a really great show, and that's on the Virtual Talk Facebook page. I ain't going to block you, Candy. I will. I was attacked. Oh, see, that's crazy, Taj. 1 minute he talks, he's doing this and trying to be positive and be down under the I-83 bridge and like he doing something. And then on the flip side of that, at night, he's like this. If I could bring up a banner, hold on. He's like this, like a damn troll. And so this is what you got to do with trolls. Let me stop this ticker right quick. Hold on. And we got the suicide hotline up. I mean, how many people do that? I mean, we don't know who may be in a dark place, but we have it up doing a mental health show just in case you may need to talk to somebody. But let me stop that for a moment. As you see on this chart, like Sade said, don't feed the trolls. Dealing with negativity in social media. And you see how on the left, it has monitor, assess, engage, resolve, deflect, and dilute. And you just start from the top. You monitor. Did they ask a question? Yes or no? And then you follow it from there. Do not respond. right? At the top, you see that flow chart. Did they ask a question? No. Then you go straight. Then you don't respond. If yes, you go across. Comment on more than one post. No or yes. I mean, this is so simple. This is how you got to deal with people like Rose Wallace and all these other fake pages that come up and try to wreak havoc and cause people to go to the left or get outside of character. And that's the reason why I was telling Sade what I was doing. This guy, we know who, that calls me Dr. Doolittle, is pretty much trying to assassinate my character. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Love you guys. Yeah, I think he may be bipolar, Leslie. Most definitely. So thank you guys for watching. Let me see, I was teasing Steve. Oh, I know. But a lot of the people watching off and on from the kidney community, this is some other stuff that I deal with that I try not to spill over any negativity in the kidney community. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the new watchers. We see you guys Saturday. Watch Uncle Jim tomorrow night, Kidney Story 2 with Uncle Jim. He's going to have a great person on. So until then, love you guys. Thank you. God bless you. Stay up, stay positive, and stay safe, okay? Love you guys. Peace.